What's up YouTube? Nathan back with another video presentation. Hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope everyone's ready for a new week. In this video, I'm going to talk about Danuel House. Before we get into that, there's some things I want to say. The Skip Bayless video, my response to his statements towards Dak Prescott, that's up and running. So please give that take a chance. We get a chance to take a look at that. And then hopefully by the time this video is recorded, I'm going to talk about Odell Beckham and this slim danger of being in the news. So, like I said, stay tuned for that video. Danuel House. So, if you don't know, Danuel House is a forward for the Houston Rockets. And, well, guard forward. Danuel House was recently sent home by the NBA because there was a woman who is, from what I'm understanding, is a person who takes all the COVID tests and different things like that, was found in his room for several hours. Danuel House denied they even doing anything, and the woman herself. The NBA came down right before the Lakers and Rockets game to send him home because they had found evidence that he did something. Let me say this. In my opinion, something went on between him and this woman. Now, I'm not going to get into this whole thing with people were saying, the NBA did this to help LeBron get to the finals. I'm not going to get into that because I think what you have here in this situation is another example, and I'm going to reference that Kemar Silverman video that I did where we have guys, athletes, that I just don't understand. And I'm gonna actually let me back up. I really wanted to really take some time to really think on this because I wanted to make sure that I'm saying all the right things in this video. And I have to look at it from two sides. One side, one could definitely make the argument that obviously he and that woman did something in that room. Then you have to look at the other side. He is denying it and she's denying it. But the biggest thing that I took away from it was, here it is. You're already in a pivotal game against Los Angeles Lakers. You were scratched in, I believe it was game 3 and game 4. Game 3, you and Tyson Chandler both, because Tyson Chandler's name was mentioned in the articles. I'm going to leave those articles in the description. When you're asked by the NBA to leave the bubble, I'm sorry, something just is not right with that. It's hard for me to say. It's really hard for me to really to defend Daniel on this because you can't, because obviously look what it cost them. The Rockets aren't going to the championship, are not going to be in the Western Conference Finals. Their hopes of the championship was diminished by LeBron and the Anthony Davis-led Los Angeles Lakers. And particularly his playing time was really pivotal in this playoff run. Now, and I think and I will say this, they really could have used him, especially in this last game where we saw Russell Westbrook have let's just call it what it is, another meltdown. You say to yourself, damn, see, if we had him, could have been a difference maker. Now, I'm going to ask Daniel this question. Now I kind of said this. Daniel, was it worth it? Now, from what I understand, he has 3 kids, and I believe he's married. And even though he's saying he's denying this, why would you put yourself in a position where you're risking millions of dollars? The Rockets really, we don't know. The Rockets see you as a potential piece to play alongside their franchise player in James Harden. The Rockets see that. But you may have cost yourself that opportunity, because when you have James Harden, who's the star of that team and who's basically the guy that's going to dictate who he wants on his team. When you have James Harden coming out and saying, yes, that affected us, that's a red flag. That's a sign you may not be back on the Rockets next season. D'Antoni's already gone. And now this. Now, I wrote it down here. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but the NBA has allowed family and friends to be there in Orlando at the bubble, correct? I just want to make sure I'm understanding that. So I just want to make sure that I'm clear on that, because again, my question, and this is a question for Daniel. Daniel, if you're denying you and this woman did anything, how do you explain, according to the NBA, you were in there? She was in your room for several hours. Explain. I need to hear. Danuel House has to, at some point, just be honest and be upfront with what happened, because it just. I will say this. To me, it's looking like we just don't have all the facts at this point, because a part of me wants to say he did something, but then another part of me says he didn't do anything. But when he goes home to his wife, how do you think he's going to mend that relationship? Because from what I'm understanding, she's deleted all his pictures on Instagram, and some post, you reap what you sow, and then another post where she had some lyrics, something like that. I just don't, I'm just confused at this point. I don't know what else is there to really say for Daniel. I mean, y'all let me know. I also feel like, from this perspective, I think, in my opinion, these two, Daniel and the woman, definitely know each other, or around each other. Now, am I going to go to the point of there was a relationship? I don't know. I really don't. Now, you can, again, I'm a reference that Kemar Silveran video, especially in this kind of moment where you being on that court could have mattered. I just don't understand how, if that's the case, that he was messing around with this woman. Your lustful temptations, or in other words, clapping them cheeks, was more important than trying to help the Rockets win a championship. It's like there's no priorities. It's like, well, I want to do what I want to do in my moment and not think about the team. I'm not think about the consequences. So that's the lesson that I want y'all to take away from this video. You got to think of the consequences, especially in Daniel's case, because look what it may have cost him. He could, it's possible, depending. Will the Houston Rockets re-sign him? Can he mend that relationship with James Harden? Because again, we just don't have all the facts. Now, I will say this. There are two things that we definitely need to understand. Not only is he denying it, but the woman that was in his room is also denying it. That's one. And then the second, the NBA came down on him. So there's, from what I'm understanding, there's no footage of what happened, just her coming in and coming out. So I'm going to take a stab at it and just say we're just either, is this case closed, or are we waiting for more facts? Because it doesn't sit right on me that the NBA has told you go home. Because I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, the NBA made the Rockets do a quarantine because may have a possibility of an outbreak. And this is what I brought up in that Kemar Silverand video. I said it, and I'm gonna say it again. The media does not want these guys to play sports. They want to see things like this fail. With the Kemar Silverand example, for example, Kemar Silverand situation, for example, where he tried to sneak a female and disguise her as a Seahawks employee, and now Danuel House. The media wants to see things like this and use it and it is their ammunition. Because here it is, the media's going to push. See, sports can't work because look what they're doing. Another outbreak. We just have to be smarter with our choices. And I wrote it here. I really do hope that Danuel learns and grows from this. And I don't know what's going to happen in the next few weeks. For all I know is this is a case closed. For all I know is more facts are going to come out. Because he's strongly denying it. But to hear that his wife has removed him off her Instagram and put these posts on the internet for us to see, a part of me thinks he did something with that woman in that room. But I'm not going to keep going along with this video. I just wanted to make this video this quick, short video because I really needed. When I first heard about it, I wanted to make sure that I digested everything that I was reading and that I understood what facts are presented. And I'm not drawing up any conclusion. I just feel like there is so many unanswered questions to this situation. When you have not only him denying it, but the woman denying it as well. But at the same time, like I've said now quite a few times, it doesn't make it's weird that the NBA asked you to leave the bubble, which means he did something. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments below. What do y'all think about the situation? But with that being said, I'm out. Peace. Stay up.